Foundation has decided to once again share their love for the cure or the management of diabetes and mental health illness. What a great day it is. We all look beautiful. It's raining outside, but we have sunshine in our hearts. Thank you again for coming, and thank you for sharing. You do not know how much it is and what a pleasure it is for you all to be givers, donators, carers for folk with diabetes and mental health illness. You know, right now there is no cure for diabetes, and mental health illness is a challenge to all those who suffer. But thanks to the Frye Foundation, to Curtis and Wilma, they have put forth that, we call it first front foot, and they have making a stab and helping those. And you ought to see the children and the adults that benefit from them who have diabetes and mental health illness. But tonight is a celebration for your giving and for your thoughtfulness. So I want you to sit back and relax. And right now I would like to introduce our MC for tonight. It is going to be a joy. You're going to have fun, good food. You're going to hear some good wisdom. But tonight I'm going to introduce Mitchell Capel. Mitchell Capel's journey as a professional storyteller, comedian, and since 1985 has been phenomenal. He is considered the national interpreter of poet laureate Paul Laurence Dunbar, and with the stage name of Granddaddy Junebug, calls his style of storytelling storytree because the majority of his stories are in rhyme. For the past 34 years, now that'll tell you how old he is, his award-winning artist has been featured at thousands of venues, including the Smithsonian Fort Life Festival, the National Association of Black Storytellers Festival, the Kennedy Center, the National Storytelling Festival, and the first inauguration of President Barack Obama. Mitchell Capel has been described by major publications as a national treasure, unexpectedly powerful, and simply the best. After graduating Pinecrest High School, Mitchell attended A&T State and Howard University studying speech and theater. He returned home and married the former Pat Peake, and they are the proud parents of 2 sons and 1 grandson. Mitchell has been employed with American Airlines for 34 years and currently serves, okay, see Mitch afterwards now. Currently serves on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Club of the Sandhills and St. Joseph's of the Pines. He is a member of NABS, the Griot Circle, MD, Keepers of the Culture, PHL, the West Southern Pines Civic Club, the Southern Pines Men's Club, and the Economic Development Committee for West Southern Pines. Now, Mitch is my classmate, and I won't say anything else about him, but I want you all to please give a warm welcome to Mr. Mitchell Capel, Granddaddy Junebug.
Thank you, Bertha. Appreciate that warm welcome. It's an awesome welcome. I don't know where you found out I work for American Airlines. I don't let people know that. They be calling me for buddy passes. I ain't got no buddy passes, so don't even think about it. Then they call me and say, hey, I need you to help me out. Pookie can't, they won't get Pookie no extra peanuts. He's on Delta Airlines. Can you call somebody? Man, don't be calling me about no crazy stuff. Anyway, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here this evening and be the MC. I love Kurt and Wilma, the whole family. We grew up together, been knowing them forever. And they're doing an absolutely wonderful job with this foundation. Diabetes, it's unreal. You know, we call it the sugar. So, you know, we're going to call it what it is. It's the sugar. Grandma said, oh, Lord, he got the sugar. And it's bad. So I never knew what that was. I thought it was a good thing until I realized what it was. But yeah, I'm a storyteller, and I'm a Southern storyteller. When I travel around the country, I tell people I'm from North Carolina, Southern Pines, North Carolina. I'm proud of the fact that I'm a Southern storyteller. Southern storytellers and Northern storytellers are different. Northern storytellers start out with once upon a time. Southern storytellers start out with y'all ain't gonna believe that. Come from a long line of storytellers. My father, my grandfathers, my uncles, my aunts, my mother, everybody was storytellers in my family. Two of my favorites were my Uncle Porter, and Uncle Ed Leak from over there in Windblow. Y'all don't know nothing about the creek. But anyway, they was from off the creek over there, and they was always telling stories. And one time they went fishing. Porter was fishing, and Ed walked up behind him, Porter sitting on his bucket. Ed said, "Pope," he said, "if I guess how many fish you got in that bucket, will you give me one of them?" Pope said, "Ed, I'll do better than that. I give you both of them." So Ed scratched his head a long time. And finally, he said, "3." Uncle Pope said, "No, you missed it by 1. I got 4." So I come from a long line of storytellers and prevaricators and comics. My Uncle J.E. on my mother's side, man, that was the funniest dude I ever know. That funniest guy, I mean, I can't remember a time I wasn't over there that he wasn't drinking some moonshine or something. He was always a little intoxicated, so he was always funny. One time he told us, he said he had been up to the place up the street drinking, and he was walking home, and he was taking 1 step forward and 3 steps back. He was taking 1 step forward and 3 steps back. He said he finally figured out he'd never get home until he turned around. He said he walked home backwards. So I come from a line of storytellers. I go into schools to do storytelling. Granddaddy Junebug is a show I do for kids, and love doing that. Been doing that for 34 years. It's scary now because principals come backstage and say, "I brought you here because I remember you when I was in 2nd grade." It's like, okay. But I was in a school one time, and I decided to go peep in the classroom and see how they were teaching nowadays, because things have changed. They got STEM program, I don't even know what that is, but they got new stuff, new ways they're teaching. And I peeped my head and the teacher was discussing whales. She said, even though the whale is a large mammal, it has a small throat, it can't swallow nothing large. The little girl raised her hand and said, "The preacher told me the whale swallowed Jonah." The teacher said, "I understand, but I'm your teacher. And I'm telling you that even though the whale is a large mammal, it has a small throat, it can't swallow nothing large." Little girl said, "Well, the preacher told me that the whale swallowed Jonah, and when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask him." The teacher looked at her and said, "Well, what if Jonah went to hell?" She said, "Well, then you ask him." So, kids are a mess, man. Kids are a mess. Kids are funny these days. I was walking down the street with my buddy downtown. I used to live in Fayetteville. We were walking downtown, and this kid was sitting on a bench, and there was a dog beside him. And my buddy, he's a mailman, he walked up and he said, "Hey, man, the little man, does your dog bite?" And he said, "No, sir." The man went to pet the dog. Almost bit his face. He said, "Hey, man, I thought you said your dog didn't bite." Little boy said, "That ain't my dog." Kids are a mess. All right, we're going to get this program started. I'm going to bring up right now my good friend and Sister Cordelia Frye Challenger, so that she can bless the food. Notice they didn't ask me to bless it. We want to enjoy the food. Been knowing this sister a long time, too. We go way back.
Yes, we
Old friends are rare, you know. It's good being back in Southern Pines. I get to see all my family.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Let us bow our heads. Most holy and precious Father, we come in the name of Jesus. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for blessing us to be here today. We ask that you touch each one, God, that this fellowship will be greater than ever before. God, we ask that you sanctify this food, bless it for the nourishment of our bodies, move every impurity, and God, take all the calories out. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Oh. I'm going to remember that one. Take all the calories out. Yes. How's everybody? Having a good evening so far? All right. The food was malicious, wasn't it? Let's have a big hand for Pop, the chef, the staff here at Longleaf. Everything was good. Everybody, the libations are going. I need to sit at that table. They had 5, 6 bottles of wine over there. I don't see them no more. So I know they're going to laugh real quick at my stuff from here on out. Yes, indeed. So we're going to move along here. I had to ask this young lady here to videotape me because, technology and senior citizens don't go together. It's technology. I saw Kurt over here trying to do FaceTime. What is it? Facebook or Instagram or something live. He was trying to do something. Facegram. I can't remember all that stuff. Facegram. You like that, brother? Okay. All right. So he's trying to do that live. Yeah. Technology's got us messed up. This guy living in an apartment building got a text message from his neighbor, and it said, I don't know how to tell you this, man, but I've been having my way with your wife. Every time you leave, I just can't help myself, and it's been going on for about 6 months now, but I'm gonna quit, man. I'm sorry, I apologize. I just want to come clean with you. So the guy who got the text message, man, he was furious. He went and tore all his wife's clothes up and tore the pictures up, the wedding pictures, and broke all the china and everything. And she walked in and said, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? And right then he got another text from the neighbor and said, man, I hate this spell check. I'm sorry. I was using your Wi-Fi. So technology will get you messed up. Having my way with your Wi-Fi. All right. I texted my wife one time, and my wife texted me one time, and she said, what does IDKLYTTYL mean? I said, I don't know. Love you. Talk to you later. She texted me back and said, all right, I'll call the kids then. Yeah, all this stuff is just LOL. I'll text the kids then. Yeah, she didn't get it. Okay. Yeah, all this technology, man. This ain't, they LOL, OMG, all this stuff. This ain't new. When I went to Howard University, there was a guy there. He was a nice dude and all, but I hate hanging with this guy because he used to talk like that. He used to say, WGO. I said, WGO, what's that? What's going on? I mean, he would make up stuff like that, HYB. HYB, what are you talking about? How you been? I was like, dude, what? But I'll tell you what, he did come up with TGIF, and he should have got that trademark because he did used to say TGIF. What's that? Thank God it's Friday. Somebody took that and ran with it. But I went out to lunch with him one time, and all right, let's cut all the lights off. Cheering, y'all get in the middle of the floor. Lord, I know my mama got the lights off at the house right now. Snatch the plug out the TV. Lord have mercy. Woo. Maybe I better shut up. So anyway, I went out to lunch with this dude. And the waitress came over and she said, what do you have? He said, I'll have a BLTUT. She said, what's that? He said, that's a bacon, lettuce, and tomato untoasted. She said, okay. So she came back and set it down in front of him. And he said, SOB. She said, what'd you say to me? He said, it's soggy on the bottom. She said, well, YSHIT. He said, what'd you say? She said, you should have had it toasted. Yeah, I don't text and drive no more. I don't text and drive, man. I was going to do a show out in the country, and I'm up there trying to text and stuff and ran into a ditch. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, I couldn't hardly get a signal to call AAA to come pull me out. And this old farmer came up and he said, hey, buddy, I'll get you out that ditch. Just give me a minute. I'll go home and get my mule buddy. I said, all right. So I waited, and sure enough, he come back with his mule buddy and hooked buddy up to my bumper. And then he said, pull, Coco. Buddy didn't move. Pull, Nellie. Nellie didn't move. He said, pull, Buster. Buster didn't move. Buddy didn't move. So finally he said, all right, buddy, let's get her out of there. Pull. Buddy pulled my car up out of the thing, and I tried to pay the guy. He said, no, man, just pay it forward. It's all good. I said, but I got to ask you a question, man. You hooked that mule up to my car, and you said pull Coco and pull Nellie and pull Buster. And I know you said the mule's name was Buddy, but why you call all them names out? He said, Bo, Buddy's blind. And if Buddy thinks he's working by himself, he wouldn't even try. It's crazy. Crazy, ain't it? And I saw some, we got preachers in the room, ministers here. I know we got some ministers here. I went to a wedding last summer, and there was 2 preachers at the wedding. The bride was a Baptist and the groom was a Methodist, and they couldn't decide who was going to do the service. So they had both of them do the service. And I'm standing there talking to them, talking to the ministers. We discussing religion. The waiter came over with a tray of wine. He said, would anybody like a glass of wine? The Baptist minister said, I don't think one little glass of wine going to hurt nobody. Asked the Methodist minister, would you like a glass of wine? He threw both hands in the air and said, I'd just as soon commit adultery. The Baptist preacher put his back on the tray and said, hold on, I didn't know we had a choice. Preacher told me that joke, so don't get mad. Reverend Dr. Murphy, don't get mad. Yeah, it's funny stuff. Funny stuff. Grew up here in Southern Pines, North Carolina. We used to play ball all the time. My backyard was the football field, the baseball field, basketball, whatever season was in. But, we always had that fence when that ball go over there, the game's over, because they wouldn't give you your ball back. But we had some neighbors. I ain't going to call the name because y'all might relate it to them. We had some neighbors who used to fuss all the time, man. They would fuss and fight. You could hear them, back then. You could hear them a block away, fussing and fighting. Fussing all day long. And the man would always end up by saying, when I die, and you bury me, I'm going to dig myself up out the ground and haunt you for the rest of your life. And we believed it too, because he used to do some crazy stuff around the neighborhood. We thought he knew that hoodoo stuff, So we thought, man, he might do that. That dude was crazy. So sure enough, it happened. He passed away, and they had the funeral. About 3 days later, the wife was in pages. Y'all don't know nothing about that. She was in pages over there just dancing. She was boogie-woogie. They said, hey, ain't you scared? Your husband told you that when he died and you buried him, he was going to dig himself out of the grave and haunt you the rest of your life. Ain't you scared? She said, oh, no. I buried his ass upside down. All right. Speaking of that, it's in the Bible. I went and did a show in Huntsville, Alabama. I'll never forget it. And I had to stay with this family because the hotels were booked up. And the first night I had to stay with this family. And so they put the 2 kids, they had 2 sons. One was about 6 and one was about 4. And they put them in the same room, and I got to sleep in one of the kids' rooms. Well, I get up early. Somebody got to wake the chickens up. So I get up early and get the chickens up, and I'm up every morning early. So I'm up, and I hear the kids waking up next door, and I hear them talking. And one little boy said, the 6-year-old, he told the 4-year-old, he said, it's high time we start cussing. The 4-year-old said, you're going to get me in trouble. He said, no, it's all right. He said, they're cussing on the TV, they're cussing on the radio, they're cussing. It's all right, we can cuss now. He said, I tell you what, when we get downstairs, we'll try it. We'll use 2 words that's in the Bible. He said, I'll use the word hell, and you use the word ass. 4-year-old said, you sure? He said, yeah, I'm sure. So they're going down the steps, and I'm following behind them because I know I'm in for a treat. We get downstairs, and mother asked the 6-year-old, said, what would you like for breakfast? He said, oh, hell, Mom, just give me some Cheerios. Pataya! She backslapped his little behind. He fell down crying. She turned to the 4-year-old and said, what would you like? He said, I don't know, but you can bet your ass it ain't going to be no Cheerios. Let me stop, man. We got children in there. Let me stop. They're going to try that at home and get pataya. I'm looking forward to playing golf tomorrow, man. I love playing golf. You meet some very, very, very great people playing golf. Meet some nice people. You can tell a lot about a person playing golf. In 4 hours, you can learn more about a person in 4 hours. Am I right, golfers? Y'all know that. Y'all know if they lie. You know if they cheat. What else? You learn they can't count. Most important. I remember the first time I played with Donnell Woodford. He played in the league with the, where's Donnell at? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, Donnell played with the Bears. Good friend of mine from down in Fayetteville. I never forget the first time Donnell and I played. He might not remember this, but we was over at Baywood Golf Course. And at Baywood, they announce you over there. You're on the putting green putting, and they'll say, the Capel group is on the tee box now. You know, you feel like you're big time and stuff, so you go to the tee box. So anyway, Donnell was about to hit, and the guy on the microphone said, would the gentleman on the ladies' tee please move back to the men's tee? Donnell turned around and looked, and he got back over his ball. He got ready to hit again. The man said, would the gentleman on the ladies' tee please move back to the men's tee? Donnell gave him an ugly look again and got over his ball. The guy said it again. Donnell turned around and said, would the man on the microphone let me hit my second shot? Man, golf is fun. I got to play golf with Michael Jordan one time, and right after he won his first NBA championship, right out here at number 7. And it was a pretty cool experience. And he liked me because I didn't run up to him and ask him for an autograph. I knew I was playing with him, and I stayed on the putting green and let him come to me because I'm older than him. You know, you got to respect your elders. So I let him come to me, and he did, and he liked me for that. But after we finished playing golf, he wanted to get something to eat. I said, man, my mama the best cook in the whole state of North Carolina. You know, he's like, really? I said, yeah, come on. So I called Mom. I said, hey, you know, we got some people. She 6-course meal, bam. But anyway, long story short, I tried to go to sleep that night, and I couldn't because I was like, dang, man, I just hung with Michael Jordan. Guy just won the National Basketball Championship. Cool dude. So I got a pen and paper like I always do, and I wrote this little poem. I said, I spent the day with MJ. We had a lot of fun. We hit some balls down narrow halls under the hot, hot sun. After pursuing cars, we hopped in cars and went to my parents' house, where we shoveled food, belly washers too, down hungry and thirsty mouths. We shot some pool and cut the fool, sat down to a table of cards, played bid whist, tried to not to miss like we did those birdies and pars. We told some lies, 7-0, and before goodbyes, posed for a picture or two. The flash still on our grin, we said, let's do it again for the chance to get even was due. I spent the day with MJ, not once did he take off and fly, although he's Air Jordan in basketball, in life. He's just a down-to-earth and a heck of a nice guy. So I never told him that. I never sent it to him, anything like that. I guess I should. Anyway, I'd like to thank some sponsors real quick. First of all, we'd like to thank Vince over here from the Ironwood Cafe. Vince, raise your hand and stand up. Always been a big supporter of this event. Also, Tom Collins. Tom couldn't be here tonight. Tom's always a big sponsor of this event. Also, I'd like to thank Mondo. Anthony James. Anthony, would you stand up and raise your hand? Anthony's over here. Mondo. Mondo, I asked him, what is Mondo? He said they put in the track down at University of South Carolina, and they do all kind of stuff. Put in playgrounds for kids. I said, man, I'm trying to resurrect Cardinal Park. I need you to come put me a playground. That's a hookup, right? Next, we like to recognize the Sanford Shriners Club. The brothers Frye, the brothers back here at this table, the Shriners Club from Sanford. Yeah, Curtis told me I could tell a joke about them. I said, no, there's some big brothers, man. I ain't gonna mess with them guys. Not gonna tell a joke about them. And if there's anybody else, I'm sorry I missed. But also, someone that's near and dear to my heart, and I know Curtis probably speak more about her, Aunt Maggie McCrimmon. She's always on board. She's always doing stuff, and she's always donating to this event. Aunt Maggie, raise your hand, honey. She's back there. There she is. Yes, Lord. Her and Miss Alice May, boy, every time I look at her, I can see Miss Alice May McCrimmon. Miss Alice May always said, my mom used to say, Alice, you ready? She said, I'm ready if I don't go. I never forget that. So, anyway. I got to have notes up here. You know, when I was born, I was given a choice to being a great lover, having a great memory. I forgot what I was going to tell y'all. Stay with me. Stay with me. Make sure I got everything. Oh, real quick, yeah, John and Kathy over here from Centerville, Ohio. I met them last night, and we got to talking real good because I do a lot of Dunbar's work, and I told them I'm up in Dayton a lot, and so for them, I'm gonna do this little poem by Dunbar. I, I, I was traveling on a flight one time, and I was sitting beside this guy, and he was a minister, and we started talking. And he told me he was a minister, and told me he was a storyteller. I told him I was a storyteller. And he said, wow, that's great. I said, well, if you're a minister, you'll love this poem by Paul Dunbar. It's called Theology, where he simply said, there is a heaven. Forever day by day, the upward longing of my soul doth tell me so. There is a hell. I'm quite as sure. For pray, if there were not, where would my neighbor go? Dunbar had a sense of humor. He was funny. So the preacher, he laughed, man. He loved that. Then he said, if you like that, you'll like this. He said, to live above with those we love, wouldn't that be glory? But to live below with those we know, now that's a different story. All right. Now, I'm going to bring up, with a special message, Miss Anna Jarrett.
Thank you. Hello, can you hear me? I'm short. Can you hear me now? Okay. I have my notes on my phone.
Oh, see, that's it.
I'm with the technology group of people. How are you all doing tonight? Good. I want to ask you to look at me. Okay. Would you guess that I have congestive heart failure? Or kidney disease? Graves' disease? All that stuff. Would you believe I'm on dialysis? Probably not. I hear it all the time. Oh, you don't look sick. But what does sick look like? I'm still trying to figure that out. My name is Anna Maria Jarrett. I am the younger daughter of Donnie and the late Deborah Wicker. I'm sure you know my dad, Donnie. I look just like him. I had diabetes for 22 years. I was diagnosed 8 days after my 10th birthday. Talk about a birthday to remember. Most of the time you turn 10, it's like, oh, I'm in the double digits. No, I'm a diabetic. That's what happened to me. In the past 22 years, I have dealt with very many complications that stem from uncontrolled diabetes. And just recently did I start to get it together. Growing up, I thought I was invincible. I heard the horror stories. Oh, my grandma lost a leg and so-and-so went blind. But I'm like, it's not going to happen to me. Yeah, okay. In 2010, on a flight back to Atlanta, I live in Atlanta. I was born and raised in Sanford, but I live in Atlanta. I went into a coma, and my blood sugar was 1,300 when I was admitted to the hospital. And that was a hospital record. I'm not proud of that record, but I hold it. I was in the hospital for over a week, and my body started shutting down, but I still didn't learn my lesson. In 2015, I lost vision in my right eye. Diabetic retinopathy took over. Again, being hard-headed. After injections, laser treatment, and surgery, I finally can see out of that eye again, so that's good. Just 5 months ago, I started dialysis, and I was only 31. I'm actually listed on the transplant list. Actually, I was telling Gala I might not be able to make it tonight because I'm waiting for my call. They might call me right now. That would be great. But I will be getting a new kidney, and hopefully in the future I'll get a new pancreas, so no more diabetes. They said there's not a cure for diabetes, but until there is a cure, there is a dog. I'll talk about her in just a second. I'm actually here today because this past September I was at my family reunion in Sanford, and my cousin Wilma, she came and sat beside me, and we had a little conversation. And now, at previous reunions, Curtis and I used to give speeches together, but I wasn't aware of all the amazing, wonderful things that the Frye Foundation does. Like, I had no idea just how big they were. Now I know. That's why I'm here. It's quite a coincidence because a few weeks before the reunion, my blood sugar bottomed out. I had a hypoglycemic episode where I didn't even know where I was. You'd think after 22 years that wouldn't happen, but it happens. Anyone with diabetes knows it just happens. And my biggest fear was, what if it happens again? I was home, I was alone, I worked from home, so I'm by myself all the time. So I had a conversation with my husband, that's him over there. I was like, what do you think about getting a service dog? It's too expensive. Okay, but you drive a BMW. But my service dog is too expensive. Okay. So we moved on. So we moved on. Back to the family reunion, because I'm getting ready to shut up. When cousin Wilma told me that her foundation donates service dogs, I don't know if she remembers. Wilma, I don't even know where you are, but I broke down and cried. Do you remember when I was sitting outside crying? I was like, I just talked about getting a service dog. And so, this is Kaya. This is my blessing, service dog. Kaya, say hi. You don't have to look at me, look at them. Kaya is trained to detect if my blood sugar is low or high. And she can sniff it out. So had I had her over the summer when my blood sugar dropped down, she would have let me know before my blood sugar monitor would have told me. That's just how good she is. So she's learning. She's getting better and better every day. But the Frye Foundation donated her to me. They paid for her 18-week training class, and she is certified. When she's finished with her final class, she'll be a certified good canine citizen. So I want to give a special thanks to Wilma and Curtis, and also to Gail for definitely communicating with me and getting this, making this possible. I get a little emotional, I'm sorry. Just a month ago, Kaya detected my first low blood sugar, so she's on the way. She's my lifesaver. She's more than just a best friend. She's a godsend. She is my guardian angel. And even though she's really nervous tonight, she's the best thing that ever happened to me. So I just want to say thank you again to the Frye Foundation, and you all take care. And clapping for you.
Wow. Woo. Sister look like the picture of health, don't she? You never know. Question, how does the dog detect? She said smell, right?
Yeah, she can smell. I give her, it's kind of like a game, like hide and seek, and she sniffs out the samples. I give her a saliva sample on a cotton swab, and she can smell it, so she can smell when my blood sugar is low or high. So anytime my blood sugar is low, I'll save that sample, and we'll play a game of hide and seek later. So you can, the Labradoodle's temperament is very good for service dogs because they're very mild tempered, just very relaxed. A lot of you
Let's give her another hand. So as you can see, this is why it's very important for this organization, the Frye Foundation, to raise money, and all of you are contributing to that. So to help folks, I didn't realize y'all gave service dogs. That's amazing, man. I was about to tear up here. That's a beautiful story.
Just a
So
side
thank you.
bar, would you please let them know that we've given out 3?
They've given out 3 service dogs. Yes. So this is an amazing program. I read a poem one time and said, you never know when someone may catch a dream from you. You never know when a little word or something you may do may open up the windows of a mind that seeks the light. It may not matter at all, but then again, you never know. It might. So if by chance it could be that another's life through you might possibly change for the better with a broader and brighter view, wouldn't it be better teaching the way of the right? It may not matter at all, but then again, you never know. It might. So, I'm sure Kurt and Wilma ventured out on this not knowing, but you see what happens. They're seeing the fruits of their labor now. They're seeing it. So that's amazing. I'm blown away. Okay. Next. I guess I need to go back to my glasses. Next, we're going to have Kurt. You ready? Yeah. My man. Let's have a big hand for the visionary, the founder, the man, the coach, my friend, awesome young man, father, uncle, everything. Kurt Frye, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's Vince? Where's Vince? Hey, Hey, that right there is our biggest local donor right there. So make sure you give him a round of applause and give him a big hug. That guy takes care of us. Without him, hey, we couldn't got this done tonight. So thank you, Vince, for everything you do. He's got a place called Ironwood Cafe. So make sure you get a chance here locally. You go down and you give back. Hey, I can't talk too long because my guest speaker there said her bio is here. But I have to tell you a few little things about it. I mean, she's a commissioner. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's an AKA, and she was a thrower for me. And everybody looked at her and thought that she was a sprinter. She ran track and field for me at the University of South Carolina. And she married an NFL football player back there. And that happened while we were there. And a little bit of story on this, and I'll let her go. She's the most honest lawyer in America. But as an undergrad, she told me one weekend she had to go home to her mother's birthday. And it was a weekend that Detroit was playing at home. And I was watching Detroit play against Chicago. And the camera kind of panned to the stands. And I said, wow, that looked like Aisha. And then that big old board that they have up there, where they scan to see people in the crowd, and they had Aisha sitting up there in the stands. And she came back on Monday to practice. I said, Aisha, how's your mama's birthday? And she looked at me and said, Coach Frye, you know, don't you? I said, yes, I do. I saw you on TV. So I want to no longer introduce to you one of my great athletes that was a great student, that was an honors college student, and graduated from the University of South Carolina in honors, and here tonight, my attorney for the Frye Foundation, a big supporter of the Frye Foundation. Without her, we couldn't do our website, and she pays without me knowing that she's paid. She never asked for anything. She's been to every one of our events. Her and her husband sponsor a hole on a golf tournament. So she's not a person that she's given forward to me personally, but just giving forward for young women to see the examples of a person that leads a life in a good way and ends up being a great professional. No other than my Aisha Taylor. And yeah, you look pretty on that big screen. Y'all can read everything else.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here this evening. I won't keep you too long because I know we've probably gone a little bit over our scheduled time. So I actually made a few notes, but I cut them in half. So hopefully that'll get us out a little bit faster. First, I do want to give a round of applause to our MC, Mr. Mitch Capel. I was sitting in the back just laughing away, and I thought to myself, I never usually laugh so much before I actually have to give a speech. I usually am kind of nervous, but he put the whole crowd at ease, so that was glad to hear that. And then also, Miss Anna, it's a pleasure meeting you, and I heard your story, and I'm thinking, how am I going to follow that? You know, you actually exemplify what we're here for, and so you kind of just, in your whole story, show our whole purpose of being a part of the Frye Foundation. When Coach Frye actually called me and asked me to speak a couple weeks ago, you know, a lot of emotions came rushing forward. This kind of brought the whole thing in a 360 for me. I actually served on the executive committee for the Frye Foundation for our inaugural year and in the year after. And I remember sitting in those intro meetings, sitting in the roundhouse in Coach Frye's old office with Philip and CJ and Mrs. Frye, trying to figure out what this was going to be and what our vision was going forward. And now as I sit here today, 8 years later, I look around the room and I just can't believe it. It's grown so much. We've been able to reach so many people. And so I just want to thank you all who are here today. Diabetes and mental illness, you know, when we first started talking about it, I remember Coach Frye asking me to join on, and I thought to myself, well, these seem like two totally separate issues, and so how are we going to find a way to bring these two things together? Well, as I've researched more and learned more about it, it's actually interesting how diabetes and mental health conditions actually play a role, and they actually relate directly to each other. First, typically they both start as underlying health conditions. So you kind of go about your daily lives and you really don't know that you're being affected by either diabetes or mental illness. Sometimes the symptoms may present themselves in small ways, and we either ignore them or we just kind of sweep them under the rug. Secondly, there are oftentimes family connections in both things. So sometimes the family may have a history or a lot of family members with diabetes, and the same thing holds true for mental illness. And then lastly, diabetes and mental illness can actually have a codependent type relationship with one another. And I'll touch on that a little bit more later. So I pulled up some stats before today's meeting, but right now, as of 2018, so last year, 30 million Americans were diagnosed with diabetes. That's about 9% of the American population, and that does not include prediabetes. So when you add in the people with prediabetes and those with diabetes, we're looking at about 22% of our population are affected by diabetes. In North Carolina, 11% of adults have diabetes. In South Carolina, that number is actually 14%. When it comes to mental illness, current statistics show 1 out of 5 adults have some form of a mental health condition. So as we sit around the room here today, think about it, 1 out of 5. That's and then also, when it comes to mental health conditions, of those 1 out of 5, only half of those people, only about 56% of people actually get any form of treatment. That number actually is approximately 40 million people with mental health conditions. So if you think about that 56% number, we've got 20 million people walking around the United States of America with untreated mental illness. That's a significant number. As a workers' compensation attorney, and then now as a commissioner, diabetes and mental illness actually, I come into contact with it every day. It actually has a very large effect on our workers' compensation systems. Our system in South Carolina is very similar to the system here in North Carolina, so a lot of the statistics and the causes and the solutions are pretty similar. In workers' compensation, when a person has diabetes, that's what we call a premorbid condition, which means it's a personal condition. It's with you, you take it with you to work, and you bring it home every day from work. When it comes to mental illness can also be a premorbid condition, but sometimes it can actually be caused by work. And so in my job, sometimes we have to discern whether or not someone's mental health condition is a result of their work injury or whether it's something pre-existing. Either way, in workers' comp, if you have a work injury, we actually have to end up treating both your underlying condition as well as your work injury, because diabetes and mental illness are very similar in that it can have a very significant impact on a work injury. A simple arthroscopic knee surgery in a person who's diabetic can turn a 6-week recovery into a 6-month recovery. And so think about the impact that that has on that person's family. Think about the impact it has on the employer and whether or not they're going to be able to bring that person back to work after 6 months. Mental health conditions can drag on even longer because a lot of times it's untreated. It's been untreated for so long, and oftentimes in workers' comp, they don't appear till later on in the claim. So for example, if you have an injured worker who then develops depression from being out of work for a significant period of time, that depression will not reveal itself until the end of a claim. So when you think something may be coming to an end, the mental health conditions pop up and can really significantly impact a workers' comp claim. Stress, anxiety, depression, those are all common mental illnesses that we see in workers. And as we sit around the room, we know family members or even some of us deal with it personally. Those are things that affect us every day. And so obviously, treatment is the best solution, but we know that a lot of people aren't getting treated. So you want to make sure in your personal lives that you look around and see if you can identify any areas where people may need some help. Earlier I mentioned the codependent relationship between diabetes and mental illness, and I see it in my professional capacity, but just recently I've experienced it in my personal life. My father passed away this past January. Now he had been diagnosed with diabetes for over 20 years, so he's lived with it. He's had it under control. He had insulin in the refrigerator, and so I think he was managing it. Well, we thought he was managing it well. About 18 months ago, he ended up having to have a toe amputated. And so, we were concerned, but he, held a brave face, and he made it seem like he was going to be okay. But then after a couple months, he started complaining about the orthotics. Then he started complaining about the doctors. Then he didn't want to wear the orthotics. He didn't want to go to the doctor. And then he got to a point where he didn't want to talk about it at all. Now, in hindsight, those all should have been red flags, but we didn't notice it then. Shortly after that, he began drinking a little. Now, up until that time, he hadn't had a drink in like 20 years. But again, he was older. He's in his 60s. If he wanted a beverage, no one thought it was a big deal. But it became worse and worse and worse. What we now know is that he was slipping into a depression, and he just kind of he didn't give up, but he just didn't want to put in the extra effort of taking care of himself. In November, he actually had a brain aneurysm. He had some blood on his brain, and they did surgery, and he never fully woke up. So he passed away this past January. So the work we do here at the Frye Foundation is very important because I know we're all so busy. I'm the same way. I didn't catch the red flags. I'm sure many of us have similar examples and stories in our lives where you didn't catch the red flags. It's important for us in our busy lives, even if we can't catch them, to make sure that we at least contribute to organizations who want to do this work. I'm not going to stand here and say everyone in here must go and do the work, because that's just not practical. But if we can't personally do the work, then we should contribute and help the organizations that want to do the work to kind of avoid these kind of situations. Perhaps if someone was able to get my father or any of your family members to proper health care or proper counseling in time, we may have been able to avoid that outcome. But these are very sneaky diseases, and so it requires diligent efforts on our part. In keeping with the Frye Foundation, my husband and I, we look at prevention as well in terms of our youth. And so my husband really has created a foundation. It's the Take Action Now Youth Foundation. And so we kind of start with the kids early. And that foundation is for prevention. So we encourage exercise and healthy eating habits so we can get children kind of on the right track earlier. So hopefully they won't need the services of the Frye Foundation. So we want to try to fight this battle on all ends, and we all must work together to do so. So again, I want to thank you guys for having me tonight, and it was a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Great job, Sister Aisha. Judge Taylor, in case I come through South Carolina, show my respects right now. I'm reminded of a Dunbar poem. Every time I meet a lawyer or a judge, I tell them this poem by Dunbar. It's called Justice. He simply says, enthroned upon the mighty truth, within the confines of the laws, true justice seeth not the man, but only hears his cause. Unconscious of his creed or race, she cannot see, but only weighs. For justice with unbandaged eyes would be oppression in disguise. Kind of prevalent today, isn't it? And then she talked about helping and doing. And I'm reminded, and I'm testing my memory, I'm reminded of a poem, I think it was by Helen Wheeler Wilcox, where she said, there's only two kinds of people in the world today. Just two kinds of people, no more, I say. Not the good or the bad. Not the good or the bad, because it's well understood that the good are half bad and the bad are half good. Not the happy and sad, for in life's swift years brings each person their laughter and each person their tears. Not the rich or the poor, for to count a person's wealth, you must first know the state of their conscience and health. Not the humble and proud, for in life's busy span, who puts on vain airs is not counted a man. No, the two kinds of people on earth I mean are the people who lift and the people who lean. Now, wherever you go, you will find the world's masses. Wherever you go, you will find the world's masses are ever divided by just these two classes. And strangely enough, you'll find too, it seems, there is only one lifter to 20 who lean. So let me ask you a question. Are you easing the load of overtaxed lifters who toil down the road? Or are you a leaner who lets others bear your portion of labor, worry, and care? I added this part. Folks, I beg you, be a lifter from this day and forever. Any ties to being a leaner, now and forever sever. And soon you will find a world most serene when the number of people who lift outweigh the number of people who lean. All right. So with that, I will, well, one more quick joke. I can't leave you on a sad note. Real quick. Was on an airplane. Man was sitting beside me. He was about 90-something years old. He was bragging about his hearing aid, how bad it was. He could hear mosquitoes and everything now. And I was like, cool, Pop, man, that's good. He said, yeah, man, it's the best money I ever spent. I said, wow, that's amazing, man. Really, really. I said, what kind? I said, how much did it cost? He said, it cost about $20,000. I said, really? I said, what kind is it? He said, 3 o'clock. What we got? Door prizes. All right, we got some door prizes. Here we go. How does this work? Call the numbers. Oh, you got numbers in the bag? You gonna let me pull? Let's let somebody pretty pull. Here, you pull. Somebody pull, because y'all think I done, why you ain't pulled my number? All right, who we got? We got a beautiful jacket right here. It's pink.
52.
Number 52. 52.
52?
Where? I hear, man, this gonna look real good on you, bro. 52? Back here? All right, cool. You got yourself a nice pink jacket, bro. Real man wear pink.
Come get it.
Come get it. We ain't told it to you. Come
It's
get
a
it.
ladies' jacket.
It's the latest jacket. Send your wife. Next.
Do we have all yellow tickets? Does anyone still have their yellow tickets?
Anybody still got their yellow ticket?
I need them if you want them.
Oh, they got their yellow ticket still over their table. Can't believe y'all fell for the okie doke. All right, they got tickets over here. Tom Collins got their tickets.
Oh, no.
Yes. This your jacket? Congratulations. I trust you. You got trust in eyes. I don't need to see the number. Don't nobody else try that now. Say, oh, he ain't checking the number. No, don't y'all be trying. Crazy. Say, start over. Now, we ain't starting over.
Well, we do
All right.
have pink jackets for sale.
We have pink jackets for sale. And now this looks like something for ladies. Yes, Mary Kay, satin, hands, pampering set,
Thank you, baby.
ensemble. I can't read that.
I ain't got my glasses on.
Duchier, what is that? All right. No, number 122. 122. You close. There's somebody got me at your table. 122. Mary Kay going once. Somebody, you got to be here. Mary Kay going twice. All right, 122. Too late. 122 gone. Oh, I'm pulling. All right, I got it. 119. 119. Right there? All right, sister. Oh, yeah, I see. Uh-huh. Yes, Lord. Got some satin hands in here. Smell good, everything. All right, you're welcome. Enjoy. All right. Now we got another one. Number 43. Number 43, Mary Kay. Smell good.
Back here.
Back here in the back.
Back there in the back. She's coming to get out.
She's coming to get it. All right. What else? That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
Got
Oh, one more jacket.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. That's a nice jacket there. That's real nice. Okay. Ain't no number on this one. It says Mitch Capel. Number 13. Lucky number 13.
Thank you.
Where's 13? All right, there he go.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Don't let Pee Wee wear it.
Don't let Pee Wee wear. Don't let him stretch it out. All right. Now we're going to do some auction items here. All right. Oh, Lord have mercy. What we got? Got a painting. Oh, man, that's beautiful. It's by Meredith. Looks like acrylic on canvas. Where's Meredith? She's here?
No, she's not here.
Oh, she's not here. Man, that is beautiful right there. I can't look at it long. I'm having flashbacks from my high school days. Don't y'all look at it long, y'all from the 60s. Don't you be looking at this. Woodstock all over again. All right, that's a beautiful, beautiful piece of art. That's beautiful. It's called Metamorphosis by Meredith Markfield. A 10 by 10 post stand. All right, the bid starts at $100. $100. It's all for the foundation. It's all for the cause. Do I have $100? I need $100. I'll tell you what, let's start out with $10. We'll start with 10. I heard 10. Did I get 20? I got 20. I heard 20 right there. Look, if y'all scratch your nose, I'm going to take your bid. I'm telling you that right now. So don't be scratching your nose and don't be doing like this or none of that, because I'm going to take that as a bid. All right, I got $20. I have 30. I got 30. Who said that? Turn it around. Okay, yeah, we got 30. All right, I need 40.
Let me walk it through.
Walk it through. Bottle it for me. Vanna Black. Vanna Black. I got 40. $40. 40. I need 50. I need 50. I got 40. I need 50. I need $50. $50. $50. Need to send a kid to camp. We need to get some more support dogs. Send the kids to camps. I need $50. I got 40. I got 40. I need 50. I need 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. I need $50. Come on, y'all. Don't make me stay up here all night. I need $50. 50. Were you adjusting the camera, sir, or were you bidding? Oh, you're adjusting the camera. I'm going to let you slide because you're working. Y'all saw that, didn't you? Y'all saw him do like that? Did you see that? Yeah, okay. I got $40. I need 50. I need 50, 50, $50. Come on, y'all, for the fall, for the cause. The Frye Foundation. $50. 50, 50, 50. $40 going once. We need 50. We'll take 50. We can't take 40. I need 50. We'll close at 50. $10 more. Come on, somebody. Somebody. I need 10. Reverend Murphy, how you do it when we do the collection thing? Come on, talk to us. I need the organ playing right now. We can get $10 more for the building fund. $40 right here. I got 50. He got 50. I know you do. Good job, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Trying to get out that dog house you got in there. Good Lord. I got enough today. Woo-wee. Phantom wine, y'all. Phantom wine. Lord have mercy. This is a nice bottle of wine right here. What's the number bid on the wine? What you bought this? You can't trade the picture for the wine. That's not how this works. Start at $50. Good Lord. Start at $50. If you don't drink it, you can just keep the bottle there in the house. You know, and just hold it. I got $50 right here. The gentleman right here in the gray shirt. I got $50, so I have 60. I need 60, 60, 60. I got 50, 50. I got 60. 60 needs 70, 60 needs 70. I need 70. I got 60. 60, 60, 60, 60. Judge, I'm going to let you slide with that. Oh, your husband bid anyway. That's right. Okay, I'm sorry. I got 60. 70? Or you at 70? Where was I at? See, y'all messed me up. 50, 60, 70. 70, 70, 70, 70. I got 70, 70, need 80, 70, need 80. I need 80. I got 70, 70, 70. 70, 70, 70, 70. $70 going once. I need 80. I got 80. $80 need 90. 80 need 90. 80 need 90. I got 80, need 90. Got 90. 90 need 100. 90 need 100. I need 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Should I let it slide? Should I let it slide? Should I let it slide? Were you bidding that? I saw you do like that. That means that means 200 right there when you do that. I got what I got 90. I got 90, 90, 90. I need 100. I got 90. I need 100. Ooh, this would look good over at your restaurant over there, the Ironwood Cafe. Man, that would look good sitting up there. Everybody comes just to see the bottle of wine. They come just to see the bottle of wine, man. $90 going once. 90. I got 100. I got 100. I got 100. I got 100. Need 110. Need 110. I got 100. I got 100. 100. 100. 100. $100 going once. $100 going twice. Kelly. Kelly. Yeah. Kelly, back there in the back, $100. That'll look good in my man cave, you know that, right? All right, $100. Y'all write it down. Next, the allure of Cabos Sapphire Sea. Your trip for two includes 5 days and 4 nights accommodations at the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos, wireless internet, gratuities in hotel and taxis, free concierge reservation service, all meals and gourmet dining, anytime snacks, unlimited drinks, 24-hour food service. Shut your mouth wide open. Sensational entertainment, daily, nightly activities, including theme parties, contests, singers, live performances. This is a tribute. A trip. 5 days and 4 nights. The estimated value of this is $4,000 at the Hyatt Ziva Los Cabos. Man. What you And I thought I was the comedian. Frye got to say 50 cents. Everybody's doing this now. You'll let me call it? 5 days and 4 nights. Price is $4,000. I'm gonna start the bidding out at $1,500. $1,500 for the trip. Frye, come on, man. You can make installments. You ain't on no fixed income. Just reach in that hip pocket back there. Huh? Yeah, get Philip on this. I don't want to mess this one up. Las Cabos. That Mexico. I think. Yes, right? Beautiful down there. You can go snorkeling. You can go. Starting bid is $2,399.50. All right, so we're gonna start bidding out at $2,399. Brother Shriner? Oh, you was pulling your tassel back. I got you. Okay, $2,399 for a trip. I need one. Stop, girl. I'm trying to work up here. I need somebody to bid on this right quick. 2,000. Anybody want to go to Las Cabos? 2,300. People talking about I can't drive over there. All right, we'll hold off on that then. We'll hold off on that. All right, introduce the Shriners. All right, now we are going to have the Shriners, the Sanford chapter of the Shriners coming up at this time.
Good evening. I am Noble Terry Newkirk, along with my fellow nobles of the Sanford Shrine Club. First of all, we'd like to say thank you for the invitation. We had a wonderful evening. Though it may be cloudy and raining outside, I look around and I see a bunch of sunny, happy hearts on the inside, and that's what it's about. Not keeping everybody long, from the members of the Sanford Shrine Club, we would like to present Ms. Gale. If you come forward.
Where is she? I'll get Mr. Frye. Get Curtis.
Mr. Curtis, someone that can represent the Frye Foundation, would you please come up, sir?
He's coming.
We can get Mr. Curtis and Gale. More than merry.
Get me and put it in my pocket.
again, from the members of the Sanford Shrine Club, we would like to present the Frye Foundation a small monetary donation so you can continue doing the things that you do. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And we'll be looking for our invitation
Thanks
next
for
year
my
as well.
husband. Thanks for my husband. Okay. Thank you. Group shot. Group shot.
She might write us a check. That's what we just gave. That's it.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
good? We good.
Mr. MC?
Thank you. Mr. MC?
Had to have you, sir.
Thank you, brothers. I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. Yes, indeed. Shriner's always there for us. Kurt? Wilma? I think y'all up next. And to introduce the staff. But before I forget y'all, if there's anything I said tonight that offended anybody, I apologize for it. Sometimes people, don't like what I say, but I don't hold my tongue. I kind of say what's on my mind. I like to have fun, like to have a good time. And I hope I made you laugh. I can make you cry too if you need to cry. I can make you cry. But thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. But here's the lady of the hour, and Miss Wilma.
Thank you. Thank you much. While I'm on that note of thank yous, I want to just thank everyone. Everyone gets a special thank you for making this night possible. And before I start, just letting you know who has worked this to make it possible, I do want to recognize one other person. We have one of our other recipients that got the dog as well. Trevor, where are you? Trevor, would you come up? Yeah, stand. Trevor started out with us. Trevor, how old were you? 5, 6, 7? 6.5. And he had the best story. First I wanted to cry, but then he was just so strong, and how he would tell about how he did the. I'm just going to let you. Can you just tell him how you had to handle yourself? And he's so courageous and could do all of this. I just love him.
Well, at first I was doing the shots, which was pretty hard, every day, 3 times a day.
Bring it down.
I got the pump probably, 3 years ago? It's better, the Dex is easier to use, helps me out a lot. And when I got the dog, I was excited. And a couple things happened, so Hershey had to go. We miss him, we really do, but he just wasn't right for us and wasn't working out, so that's really it.
Yes, and Trevor used to tell, he used to take and pull his little tummy up and give himself shots, y'all, as a 6, 7, 8-year-old. And he could do this. He knew when the sugar was high, he knew how to monitor himself and to do this. Is he brave and courageous? You see why I love this little kid? And now he has all this technology. You see, he has all these patches and everything too. But this is what we're trying to do, guys. This is what we're trying to do. Make a difference in someone's life so they won't be afraid at night. You're not going to believe this also. Trevor's sugar was up when he came tonight. And Trevor's down now, is that right? It's back to normal. But this is what we're trying to make a difference to people's lives. So if it's in your heart that you can leave a check on the table, do so, because we have so many goals that we're finding kids that can help so that they'll have a longevity life like we're trying to have. So if you do that, that would be wonderful. Now, let me get back to what I came up here for. Trevor, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh, wait. Every year we auction something off for Trevor. Have you all decided what it's going to be?
Yes,
Okay.
something he wants.
Something he wants. Now, this is personally for him. He's been with us since he was, like you said, 6.5. So, who is going to buy this thing for Trevor tonight?
Yeah, last year it was the ring, right? You got the ring, huh? Derek Jeter ring. He got that last year. And I don't know if y'all can see it from where y'all sitting, but Trevor clean, man. I mean, look, hold that down for a second. I got to compliment Trevor. I mean, Trevor clean, man. I mean, look at that, the bow tie, the shoes, and the jacket. Got the, boy, you clean, man, I tell you.
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
indeed. Yes, yes. So Trevor wants this LeBron James autograph picture of LeBron. And every year we try to make a donation to give this to Trevor. And so the opening bid on this, do I have to go with the highest bid, or is that the opening bid? The minimum bid, I mean, is that the minimum?
Yep.
All right, so LeBron is expensive, especially with his autograph. Can we get LeBron on the phone right quick? Maybe LeBron is sending one. No, it's the minimum bid is $550. $550. $550. 500. Frye, you messing with me? $550. 500. 500. Can we chip in? What are you doing?
I was trying to see if we could do this.
Where's
what can we do?
Philip? This is Philip's.
I think that's a 250.
250.
That's where that's gonna start.
Coach said 250.
All right. Okay.
I don't believe that's what that goes at.
Yeah,
What
find
did we
Philip.
do? Oh, okay. It is this one.
All right, well, you heard it from the chief. He said if it's wrong, he gonna pay the other part of it. So we starting the bidding at $250.
Got you. Okay.
$250. We need $250. So Trevor can hang this on the
Tell
wall.
everybody not to raise their hand at one time.
Yeah, yeah. Wilma said, don't everybody raise your hand at one time. And I understand everybody's donated, everybody's bought. We got $250. Thank you so much. We got $250 right here. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What's your name, sir? Ed. Thank you,
Thanks,
Ed.
Ed.
Thank you so much. Do I have 300? We're not gonna stop there. 300. Do I have 300? 300, 300, 250 going once, 250 going twice. So, thank you, Ed. We appreciate it.
Yeah, you get to take it home,
He's
Kevin.
taking it home. Yeah, he's going to thank the man. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it. All right. Here you go, honey.
All right. Is it on?
It's on.
Testing, testing.
You want the stand back over here? You want me to bring the stand back so you don't have to hold it?
No, this is good. Okay, one other thing I wanted to point out is we also do a diabetic wellness youth camp every year too. So if you can't do one thing, maybe you can participate on that. We normally ask for $100 per kid. I would like, do we have some of our camp kids in here tonight? I know I saw them outside, they may be. But anyway, we have about maybe 5 to 10 of them here. So, and we're gonna, probably it will go off in August this year because we have a change of places. We usually have it at Crane Creek, but they've got new staff and new whatever now. But, okay, we're getting back to introducing our staff. Gail Horton, who has been with us forever, runs this show. If y'all have enjoyed yourself, this person is responsible for it. And we can never repay her for all that she does. And I have a little gift somewhere. It's just a token of our appreciation, Gail. We want to say thank you. Right now, I just have Gail stand because time is at an essence right now. So we just thank you. And her assistant, Philip Frye, which is out there with the auctions. So if you see anybody out there working the auction table, that's Philip. And we have Willie Mae Cox, who has been with us forever, and be in a minute. And like I said, Aisha, she's been with us. And that's it, Kurt and myself. So this is what we're trying to do, guys. I just wanted you to meet some of the people who are making this possible. All right, hubby, come on up. Oh, and this is Philip, son/nephew. And yes, while we're on it, I thought Kurt would probably introduce it. He has his brother and his sister here, and he'll take it from here. I think that's all. Okay.
Hey, 44 years, I do what I'm told. I've been married 44 years, so she said I'll take it from here. Hey, Gil, am I supposed to close? What's the name? And to the auction. The bar first, then auction.
And if you haven't gotten your pictures. Okay.
See, I know how to take instructions. That's Wilma's classmate from high school. And so those two, between them two, they tell me what to do. And I do it. And we've been doing pretty good for the last few years. And this is the greatest night we've had. Actually,
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to thank all of you. I had this feeling of, when you get tired and you're going, and I still coach. I work full time. I'm on my way to the SEC championship. All right. I'm going to leave on Tuesday. At the beginning of this year, it was like they asked me, God, when you going to retire? And then I said, well, I guess that means that they want me to go. Then all of a sudden they offered me another contract here on Tuesday, and I signed it. So I'm not going to retire because my wife likes shopping. That's right. But it's just, and then it's the same about this. Gail and Philip took over this, and I was like, boy, thank you. Because it was a burden off of me, even though it was a joy. And then I said, well, next year, you know what? I don't want to work Gail and them like that. I'm ready to give up. Just, a good dear friend of mine, Collins, I called, and he's my brother's best friend who got us going, and Tom, and he was ill, and he said, don't tell nobody I'm ill, I'm well, but he won't talk to nobody. So I got to call Tom. So my wife was hitting on me because she said, don't tell people's business. But when your dear friends don't want to be back with us, and I'm going to get Tom back out. Y'all love Tom up. And you need to love each other. We don't ever know when one of us is going through. So when I heard the story of Aisha, about her father and the signs, and I think about myself as a diabetic, and I know my dad was a diabetic, and he died at 53. I didn't want to do this. Philip talked me into this. But it made me more conscious. It made me lose weight. It made me start taking myself more seriously. My brother, he died. He lost his legs. He's 11 months younger than me. I still didn't want to do this. I'm ready to quit. And then I see my little cousin niece at a family reunion. And I said, oh God, she told me about her story. And then all of a sudden, golly, I got to stay in this because I got to support my cousin niece. Every time God sends a message for me, you don't quit. You don't quit. Now, I need you guys to get in the game with me. Seriously. I ain't quitting. But we need to be doing more. There was a great poem that was said tonight. Are you a taker or are you a giver? Have you been benefiting? Have you been standing on somebody else's shoulders? Is somebody watching your relative? Is somebody taking care of your mom, your auntie? Is somebody doing bedpans because you can't be there? I mean, get it down to realness. Do you have a significant other? A niece, a nephew, a cousin? $20 won't too much to flip your finger up in the air. All of you buy $20 worth of something. $40. You know how hard it is sometimes to get somebody to, well, all it is food. It ain't all it is food. 50% of that $40 you put in is going to go into helping a kid go to camp. Come on now. We are the group of people that have benefited. My wife is tapping me. And Gail is coming to get me. But I want to see more contributions from those who have received a lot. I give a lot because God has blessed me a lot. And now trust me, Aunt Maggie, she left. Aunt Maggie wrote me a $500 check and won't allow me not to take it. She says, you're not going to keep me from getting my blessing. She's 93 years old, and she does it every year. She's on fixed income. But you know what? She walks and takes care of herself, and she drove her car today back to her house. She said, somebody going to take care of me but me. You better invest in others. You're going to be blessed for the blessings you do. I asked my team, and I'm done. The one thing I ask them to do every day, find somebody to be a blessing to. That's your goal. If you get remembered for who you are or what you do, that's your challenge. When you leave this earth, will they remember that you did something for somebody? So now I'm done with my soap opera because my girls back here, they're ready to go home.
No, we're not. No,
But
we're
I
not.
want you to know you got an opportunity to be a blessing. That's what you got. You don't know if you're going to have this opportunity tomorrow, but you got today. Now, there's a silly little picture out there. There's Tiger Woods. There's $100 things out there. Hey, don't let it be somebody else. Go out there and walk around and pick up the cheapest thing. Go get some of the jewelry from one of those ladies. You ain't got to be a big roller. Every cent matters. This guy gets paid thousands of dollars to fly around. You know what? He did it free. That's royal entertainment that you saw. That young lady that come here and drove here her family, no, they're giving. We need small givers. $5, $8. When you add a bunch of fives up, you got a kid going to camp. You do not have to be a big baller. I ain't against big ballers. But if you want to be one, you know what my quest in life is? I want to pay big taxes. You know how much money you got to make to pay big taxes? Big money. I don't avoid my taxes. You know, I give big money to the church. You know why? I expect big money. I want big money. You can't have if you don't give. It'll ball up in your hand and it'll crumble and go away. And when they put you in the hole, it ain't nothing but flown in the air. Dust. Find a way to be a blessing. And that's the last of Curtis Frye getting up here lecturing grown people. Because these people in this room are givers. You're the wrong crowd. Because you gave your money to come here tonight on a rainy night. I want you to take your message to your kids, your grandkids, your sister, your kid that's in college. Don't let them not pass this forward. Don't let people that you know that have sit around and don't be a blessing and complain. Oh, I don't have this. I can't do this. My back hurt. I can't walk. What did you do for somebody else that didn't have legs? What did you do today? Were you, personally, were you a blessing? Were you a blessing? Were you a blessing today? Were you? Who did you bless today? Can you name it? Did you open a door? Were you a blessing? Did you make a phone call to somebody that's in depression? Any big blessings, just do something for somebody other than yourself. Here's a slogan. If it's to be.
It's up to me.
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 Who can?
I can.
Who can?
I can.
Who can?
I can.
What's to do?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Get her done. I'm sorry. Thank you, Gail.
Put me in, Coach. I can play. Put me in.
We went into coach's mode.
I know that we have recognized a lot of people here tonight, but I would be remiss if I did not recognize one person, and that is Miss Venus Medley. Please stand. Miss Venus and her husband, Kevin Medley. Let me tell you about Miss Venus. Miss Venus is a nonprofit, and she does food for America, for the hunger in America. She helps me a lot to provide food for the camp. She brings about a truckload. And we send kids home every day with food. Lowe's Food, grocery store, also brings us grocery bags full of food to give to the kids. But I have to recognize her for her services, for her calls to me on Thursday morning. You want to ride with me to pick up food? Sure. So I take that ride, and we try to, spread it out among the needy families, the food banks, and wherever else there's a need. So I thank you. Thank you so much. And please look her up. I mean, she's always looking for charitable organizations or nonprofit organizations to help out. But she is Miss Venus Mellon, and her card is NPO. She has a business card, which is NPO, and I think it's the website NPO also? Yeah, NPO. So thank you. Kurt, where's Kurt? You have anything else to say? Mr. Jones, are you going to do 1 or 2 more songs, or are you ready to go home?
Hey,
I gotta say,
Willie Mae? Did we call her Willie Mae?
Oh,
yes. And that little story I told about Donnell Woodford at Baywood, that was a lie. He's bigger than me. He looked like he can still play in the league. So Donnell, I was just kidding, man. I was just kidding.
Yeah. Come get him. Second, come get him.
Smoke a cigar and drink some free wine.
Yeah, go drink some wine. If Mr. Jones wants to do another song, he can. If not, if you're ready to go, then go out this door, please, and go to... Oh, yeah. Start up the music, Mr. Jones. They want to dance. They're ready to dance. They're ready to dance. Yeah.
Hey, this is one of my Alpha brothers, you know.
They're ready to dance.
Me and him and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Very good march.
And again, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Music. Music.